Hey, short announcement before we get to the episode proper. If you are listening to this as it drops, we are in the middle of March Masksness, which was put on by James Malloy of Protean City Comics. It is very, very cool. Go check it out on Twitter at March Masksness or with hashtag March Masksness. There are a lot of really, really cool podcasts involved. You should check as many of them out as you have time for. On the cover, we see from a 3/4 overhead view Jackie, William, and Darren around a table in a very upscale restaurant. Behind William, a server offers a platter with a fine collection of void chimes and silver sand. In front of Jackie, a series of mirrors reflecting a wide variety of ursine shapes, both with and without cybernetics. Green vines creep up Darren's arm and blossom with a riot of colorful flowers. As we scan the picture, we realize the table is not a table at all. It is the moon. Issue 32, Trajectory. And welcome back to issue 32.
Wow.
It's March now. Definitely not January. We are definitely not recording this in January.
Happy Oreo Day.
It is that most important of holidays, Oreo Day.
Now, is that a national or an international holiday?
Look that part.
Let's just assume global.
All right.
You know, everyone loves a good Oreo.
That is true.
Double stuffed goodness.
Also, happy Dentist Day, and for some reason my brain doesn't like that those two are on the same day.
Seems counterproductive. So anyhow, now that we're past that, we open on a couple of panels that progress us a few days past our last episode. So first off, we see a giant boar kind of like stopping at the edge of the forest. And tell us what you look like now, because it's been a minute.
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember that I'm a polar bear now. My cybernetics have gotten very sort of like brushed smooth chrome, like 50s spaceship look.
Nice.
So I've definitely got that 1950s polished future look going on with the white and the chrome. I'm larger since I'm a polar bear now. White, still have the cyber eye. I'm an eagle form now, so there's some eagle-y stuff going on.
And as you head back into town, a couple of things to recall is that you did get a phone call on your way back to Earth.
Yes.
That one of your dear friends, Motorhead, had been impounded.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So the question is, are you in a frame of mind to do anything about that? Or has this whole situation just kind of like that's been pushed to the side at this point?
I will deal with that.
Okay.
I feel like I'm ready to deal with that.
How are you planning on dealing with that?
I feel like I'm just going to go down to the impound lot, and we'll take it from there. We're going to see what I guess I would try to just do it normally. You know, I'm going to try to just get him out of impound.
Okay. We do see those scenes of this very different-looking polar bear moving through the streets of Apex City, and no one is really familiar with you in this form, because last time we saw you, you were a black bear.
That's right.
And
how many other cybernetic bears are there, though?
That's a great question. So there's definitely some looks being tossed your way. And I want to move over from there to Darren, because you did buy clothes for school. Guess what has started? School. So your first kind of weeks back at school, or this is like your first week back at school, your first couple of days back at school, or in school at all, ever in a human school.
Yes.
You are definitely getting some attention from your fellow classmates, because you look different, and you seem very different. You don't really get human culture in a lived way, right? What's probably the weirdest panel that we get there? Like, what's Darren just does not get about high school?
What I don't get about high school, I think she would be struggling with cliques, like all of us do, because the unseen, unspoken, super acknowledged divisions that seem very arbitrary would be very difficult. Social media, not knowing social media. Her plan doesn't really have social media, and how big of an influence that would be in high school. I think she'd be really struggling with, either biochem and science and in math, because she does math differently on her planet.
You use like a base 8.
Yeah, just like
10.
any sort of base 10.
Right.
Yeah, we use a base 6, so it's like...
This is different and weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would Darren be, like, well-known enough in the city at this point that she would actually be, like...
Recognizable?
Recognized hero?
Maybe for high schoolers? Maybe for high schoolers.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I am younger.
We've been on social media, I feel.
Yeah.
But it's
You've
such
been-
a large city full of heroes. I don't feel like we've done anything that's super
you
stand
did
out.
get pulled on stage during an Evergreen concert,
That's
like,
Oh.
specifically called out. So I
Oh
think
my
think
goodness.
that's actually probably more where they would know you from.
Yes, that's very true.
Because your heroic antics on the bridge weren't being televised.
Mhm.
Most of your,
Yeah.
heroing stuff hasn't been out in the public eye.
Yeah.
With, like, 2 exceptions. Because there was
Yeah.
the one, like, Phoenix thing that was on the news.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the Evergreen concert. And that's really the only times you've been...
I guess that's right.
We
Yeah.
also took on...
Yep.
Big Steel.
Big Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, there weren't, like, news crews or anything.
Yeah, no
there.
one was around
No?
for that one.
No.
No.
So you might have been, like, in a paper, but it's not like they, brought in a news crew to interview you afterwards.
Kids don't read papers anymore.
I think I would have grown small sprouts and small mushrooms on my face to mimic acne, like what I see my classmates having.
Oh my god, yes.
And I would have grown roots underneath my skin around my eyes to look like glasses, but they're like underneath my skin, so it's just like framing around
just like
my
markings.
eyes. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. We get those panels, and then we move over to William, who has probably some extracurricular activities. So we do see you, like, leaving schools because you still go to them.
Yes.
But we're more interested in what you are doing afterwards.
Official extracurriculars or what I'm actually...
More like what you're actually doing afterwards, because Eric has been doing some research on this, moon prison that you're in theory going to break Nightshade out of.
Space base.
Space base. He does have some information that he can pass along to you at this point.
Cool. So I am also going to head over and ask Horace if she has any advice for surviving in space or in an area with no atmosphere, at least.
How are you going to
Cool.
frame that question?
Cool. So,
Yeah.
Pretty much exactly like I just did.
so normally when you go visit Horace, at this point it's kind of routine. You follow some signs, you find a doorway. I would like you to unleash your powers, to extend your senses, supernatural or otherwise.
Okay, I can do that. That is a 6.
Okay.
That does not go well.
Potential.
You do get to mark potential.
It's about time.
You follow the signs. You are sure that you are doing this correctly. But after 3 go-rounds, you don't find a door. And you are starting to suspect that something is wrong.
No way of doing anything about that.
You definitely know that, because again, you think it's like, okay, well maybe the first time I just did something wrong. So you try it again and nothing happens. And then after the 3rd time, you know you did it right. And you are still not finding a door
Anything.
to
Okay.
her sanctum now.
Okay. In that case, I will scratch my head in confusion and move on to go talk to Eric.
What Eric has for you is a couple of satellite images. They're not very high resolution, but they are enough to get you a basic layout of this place. And a little thumb drive that he passes along to you with this warning. Personnel files in this place are stored on site and accessible remotely. They're very, very encrypted, so we can't get a copy of them, but we can get you access. When you access this, they're going to find out very quickly. It's not, or at least it shouldn't be traceable, but you're not going to have a whole lot of time, so you're kind of going to have to pick and choose what you look at.
So is this something you're supposed to be doing on base or right now? Like,
You can do either, but this is your backdoor into their database. It'll grant you very limited access for a short amount of time.
and it should be able to tell me where Nightshade is.
In theory.
Okay.
So, let me show you, and I know this is a very visual medium podcasting, so I will try and describe this as best I can. This is the Center for Neutralization and Detention, affectionately called Candyland.
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
It is situated, for our listeners, in the South Pole Aitken crater of the Moon. This is a real crater. It is 1,600 miles across. To put that in real-world perspective, it would stretch from West Texas to Delaware. It is about 8 miles deep at its lowest point. So when we say this is a big, big crater, it is. It's also on the dark side of the Moon, so you can't see it directly from Earth. to prevent those pesky people, amateur astronomers from finding out about the government's secret, super prison.
Wait, how do we have satellite images of it then?
Ah, well, the Infernus Corporation helped build this place and
There we
maintain
go.
security. So you are funding partners. You have to know it's there because you helped build it.
It helps to have your finger in every pie, doesn't it?
Welcome to Candyland. It's a big ovoid crater that very steeply comes down to a basin. There is one central hub, 3 housing facilities outside of that, and a landing pad for spacecraft. There's also a big, dense pit just off-site. It looks like someone has been maybe excavating something. So that's what you get visually.
Moonworms.
I'm assuming this is not to scale.
No. The actual...
Because otherwise,
No.
this picture you've given me, this base is approximately,
Yeah, it's huge.
300 miles across.
That said, the base itself does cover a span that would encompass several city blocks.
Okay.
So it's very, very big. So that is what you have physically. There is a landing pad, and beyond that, Eric does say that he may have a way for you to get in clandestinely, because as a prison facility for very, very dangerous people, obviously there is a lot of monitoring that happens inside, and if you just go in guns blazing, they're going to know you're there immediately.
Right.
He has called in a few favors, and he has bribed several fairly high-ranking, U.S. military personnel. There is a transport shuttle, rotating out Candyland facility, basically, and he does have a few spots on that for some new recruits. So that's an option if you want to take it.
So, I guess I'll ask Eric, do we have any better pictures to where I could get to the point where I could just portal there instead?
That was incredibly difficult to get, and it's the highest resolution one he has.
So, not good enough. Okay.
You could try. Again, you could try.
But it'd be very risky.
It would be risky, yes. So, with that information, what do you do?
I will take said information and say, how much time do I have? Ask Eric, how much time do I have before I need to let you know on this 100%?
Transport leaves tomorrow night.
Okay, so soon.
So about 36 hours.
I'm going to text my friends and say, hey, I've got a job that I could use some help with. Can we meet tonight and talk about this?
So I want to, as you are getting that message, pan over to our polar bear friend.
Right.
You get to the police's impound lot, and there is, a little building in front of it that you go into to pay your fines,
This
basically,
sort of thing,
for this
yeah.
sort of thing. What do you do?
I assume Crackshot is not there.
Oh no! Unless you've contacted Crackshot, and honestly, probably not then because he's wanted.
I assume he wouldn't have gone there. Okay, I'm just gonna walk up to them and ask to pay the fine on my motorcycle.
They look you up and down, being a cybernetic polar bear. And then the officer, behind the desk hands you a clipboard to fill out some information like, the license plate on your motorcycle, make, model, etc., etc.
Shoot, would I know what his license plate would say?
I feel like you probably would.
I would probably know what it says.
Yeah.
He probably hasn't changed it in all these years.
I mean, does it not just say his name?
I would assume it does.
It does say MTRHD, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I can put that down. I can make up a make and model.
Sure.
I'll just say unique.
Custom. So you fill out your paperwork, you hand that back in, and they inform you that the fine is $150.
Yeah, so I assume I don't have any money on me, but I assume I have some sort of account with Kopi
Probably.
that I can ask them to charge.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I will do that.
Sure.
Okay.
You pay your $150 and they give you a little ticket, and they tell you that one of the officers will, bring it around. So you head out front. And sure enough, one of the officers, walks out your motorcycle.
I'm going to hop on that motorcycle.
You are quite large.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Assuming Motorhead can support me.
Let's find out. So you hop on the motorcycle.
And I'm just going to ride off into the sunset.
Have you ever ridden a motorcycle before?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to try my best.
I would like you to unleash your powers.
That sounds right.
You are overcoming an obstacle, specifically your lack of ability to drive.
Alright. I rolled 2 1s. That gives me a total of 3.
Good job. So you jump on Motorhead, and he immediately buckles because you are huge.
I'm bigger than I remember. That's right.
And the officer is
about to maybe either, laugh or help you out, but
Uh-huh.
when he buckles, rather than snapping in half as a motorcycle, he changes back into a person,
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
at which point they realize something is going on.
Uh-huh.
And there's a
Yeah.
moment of hesitation before they, call it in or something.
Yeah.
What do? I will say Motorhead is under you groaning.
I'm just gonna stare at the officer and say, "This never happened." Throw Motorhead on my back and run out of there.
Okay.
Handled with dignity and grace.
I-
as always.
I am not going to make you roll for that. You are...
Not even to take a powerful blow to my dignity.
No, definitely not. This is, I think, just a thing that happens at the panel we get. Where are you going?
I had originally been just going to meet William, but I guess I'll ask Motorhead where he wants to be let off.
And he's like, hospital would be kind of nice, thanks.
Okay, I will take him to the hospital. I assume he recognizes me to some extent.
I don't... You just kind of tried to cripple him. I don't think he cares at this point.
That's probably true.
So, you drop him off at the hospital, and at that point you get a message on your watch that,
That's right. So I don't know about Liam. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would just take him to the hospital.
And we catch up with Darren at the end of a school day. You've gotten off Detective Darren now, because he got promotion.
Right.
God bless him.
Is working at the moment. So Meredith comes to pick you up from school.
She's a gem.
She is. And as you are about halfway home, you get that message on your watch that William has a thing and wants to meet this evening. Meredith hears the beep and kind of looks at her and is like, oh, did one of your friends send you a message?
Yeah, my friend William sent me a text.
Also, not your school friends.
No, just William.
I like him. He's nice.
He's okay.
Rude.
Last time you spoke to me, you yelled at me.
So let's kind of cut to that evening, since it seems like, people are going to show up for this.
Okay.
Where are you meeting them?
Obviously.
Abandoned Forever 21.
Anywhere is abandoned. So, it could be half a city.
So you have your abandoned mall, which your dad does know about, but you're on good terms now. You have your abandoned Chuck E. Cheese, and your pick of abandoned warehouses. I'll leave that up to you.
You know what?
Or you could meet somewhere that's not abandoned.
I was gonna say we'll go out to
Chili's?
my favorite upscale vegetarian restaurant.
Cool. And I'm assuming, since you are super, super rich, you can probably,
I'm gonna pay for everything.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I was gonna say, you could book out the restaurant so you don't have any interruptions.
Oh, that too. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
At
almost
least
like
half
being
the
abandoned.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically abandoned except for the wait staff.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that makes me feel more comfortable.
So we get that scene of all of you kind of sitting around at this restaurant. First off, the most important question, this is a vegetarian restaurant. What did you get?
Oh, geez. I normally eat fish. Let's see. I'm gonna get the biggest piece of tofu that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 of them.
Do you want anything on that, or just how do you want it prepared?
Yeah, seared, marinated.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Ah.
There's so many, options with tofu. It's truly
Or just a big block of tofu?
magical.
See, that's what I imagine Jackie would order right now. Just a giant block of
block
bland
of tofu.
tofu.
Fair enough.
Unless they do molecular gastronomy, then sky's the limit.
I think they absolutely do.
Okay, then give me the weirdest, most scientific thing you can take.
They bring you a giant soap bubble with the essence of tofu inside.
Oh,
Okay.
that's delightful.
I'm supremely
no.
disappointed, but intrigued.
That sounds like most experimental food.
Exactly.
That's really cool, but this
Weirdest
is terrible.
Right? How?
Hot takes of molecular gastronomy.
Right? So, Darren, what do you get?
I would request the compost bucket, please, from the kitchen.
They give you kind of an odd look, but they plate some of their compost as best they can. They make you a compost compote to go on your compost.
That's delightful.
Oh, dear.
Leave them a big tip, William.
William,
I'll have a salad.
do you want the Waldorf or the Caesar?
Caesar salad.
Okay.
House salad.
Just make them cry. Half a house side salad, please.
Half a side salad.
Now, there are a couple of things that I want to get reactions to. Namely, Jackie looks different.
I do.
Jackie is a polar bear now.
So, you're alive.
Yes, I came back from space.
Did you get a haircut?
No.
Looks good.
You missed it, audience, but we just finger gunned at each other. Thank you, Darren. I feel good. I feel different, but good.
I like the blonde motif.
Yeah, I noticed you have a new look as well.
Oh, thank you. I'm going for Earth Adolescence. Prepubescent.
As far as I know, you've nailed it.
Thank you.
I look pretty much the same. So.
Yeah, well, you look
Except
the
for
same.
for your new scarf.
So, now that we've all finished eating.
That's one way to put it.
So, you guys remember the ninja guy that we fought a while ago?
The one that tried to kill Piro and then almost tried to kill me by cutting me in half and then was a part of the mission that shot our counselor?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that ninja.
I'm not sure I do remember.
I don't think...
Maybe you never met him.
I was unconscious in a river most of that time.
I got you out, don't you fret, friend?
There was
right.
a ninja.
Okay.
And he tried to kill Piro and almost cut
He
me in half.
definitely...
It
He
was
wasn't...
bad.
He was a ninja. Like, I don't really see the issue. So, turns out
Uh-huh.
that him and my brother are dating.
What does
That
that
tracks
mean?
with what I know of your family.
And
What does that mean?
it means that they are in a relationship.
Okay, so there must be an evergreen song about this that I would quote.
For real.
So I'm gonna tell Darren it's that one evergreen song about the pine cones? They want to be each other's pine cone.
Dating is not a concept among plant life. Either we propagate or we
Aren't you in
not
high school now?
propagate. Do you not propagate by spore sharing?
I mean, yes, sort of, but like it's
You
a
should
different
draw
type
me
of
a
sport.
diagram in this visual medium podcasting.
I will get right on that at a later point.
I'm gonna start talking about it explicitly in the restaurant.
Luckily, you're the only people here.
The difference is, wait, how much does Jackie know about human dating?
I'm just pulling up YouTube videos.
Ah, that makes sense.
I'm showing Darren YouTube videos about where babies come from.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Human propagation is so inefficient.
I
You
think-
only have one?
I think Baby Shark definitely shows up.
Oh,
there
it
at some
definitely
point.
shows up there.
So anyway, the ninja and Eric are together. And the ninja is up on the moon in prison. And I want to break him out.
There's a prison on the moon now.
Yeah. Well, there's not now. There's been one for a while.
No.
Why do you want to free a criminal? Didn't he do wrong and was found guilty and then sent to prison like all prisoners that we arrest do? Why does this one feel different?
Couple of reasons. I want
Cider.
information on antitoxin. I also want to basically get the younger crew against the older crew.
Right.
Eric and myself, I already consider us aligned. I believe with Eric's relationship with Nightshade, I can get him on our side, and hopefully Nightshade can give us some information on where Antitoxin is keeping her Void Chime. Maybe two? I'm not sure. At least the one Void Chime that I know she has. Me and my brother are trying to go up against my father.
And you think because of his relationship with Eric, he won't betray us at the first moment and take the void chimes for himself?
That's my hope. Eric seems to think so.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding this clearly, that you want to assist our help in freeing a man who tried to kill at least 4 people that you know and care about. The same person who also was found guilty and sent to a prison planet, which we've done to many people before. And furthermore, you're saying that you want to unite all these younger figures to join you in your mission to overthrow the corrupt, evil elders, but you treat Debbie like shit. So let me understand your plan in its entirety, or lack thereof.
Debbie has been given plenty of chances to actually help out here, and she never has. She has consistently done her own thing and never given me any useful information or allowed me to help her.
Didn't
So
she
when
give you
she-
a void chime? And then you lost it?
No, that is not what happened.
I'm just sitting back and eating metaphorical
She did not.
popcorn.
She took a void chime. I got my own void chime, and then I lost it. That's a whole different thing.
So I think we should trigger some moves here.
Sounds good.
Because these seem like some moves. I think these seem like you might be trying to pierce the mask here.
Which one of us?
Kind of you, because you're asking, like, what are your motivations? What are you doing here, right?
Okay.
So I would like you to roll plus mundane.
I rolled a 6.
Okay,
I think that's a fail, isn't it?
that is a failure.
Okay.
Unless the Baroness wants to assist in this.
Do we have team?
You have one team in the pool,
We are
because
together.
that is base.
I will spend that. I'm going to help.
Okay, so how are you going to assist?
We high-fived for the
Yeah.
audience. Yes.
I feel like that sound effect is...
That's fine, we'll keep that in. Alright, so how do you assist in this?
So you're trying to understand William. I'm going to sort of just nudge Darren and sort of like give Darren some hints as to what I think William is feeling. I have my cyber insight. Like I can tell you that like his respiration is peaked or whatever. Just sort of like, you know, I'll like text it to your watch or something.
Okay.
This is what I know
So-
about William.
Do it under pressure. Phil
Yeah.
Phoenix is going to pop up.
Oh God, Phil Phoenix.
Alright, so you do get to ask one question off Pierce the Mask, which will be directly to William.
Using this team now is not going to come back to bite us later.
It's fine, you have no team into the pool, and you're probably going to be, you know,
But as soon as we
infiltrating
get into a
them.
fight, like, we get our
Right?
team back, so it's
We'll
fine.
get some.
You get some. There are ways to add team.
What do you intend to do? And I think I'm implying about like the relationships he's forging with these unsavory figures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you unite all these figures, one of which you've purposefully chosen to ostracize, even though she's very powerful.
That says nothing about uniting Debbie.
Which seems like an oversight.
So that could actually be part of the answer to that question, is
Yeah.
that you're not planning to include Debbie.
What are you intending to do if you are able to unite all these figures in the first place? What is outweighing the costs of this mission that in your mind is so much more valuable in the end term?
So that's basically kind of like a what's your end game sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that works with what you intend to do.
What I know is that whatever ritual my father is planning to perform requires one person per void chime. There are 5 void chimes. He has heavily implied to me that he intends to use at least me to ring one of those. If I can make sure that his only options for those people to ring the void chimes are people that I know are allied with me and not him, then that gives us the opportunity for him to hand us void chimes and then for us to turn the tables. It is a risky plan, but I don't know how to get at the rest of the void chimes.
That does make a certain sort of logic. I mean, you had me at Moonbase, but
So are you joining him, Jackie?
yes. Who am I to stand in the way of true love?
I'm in if Debbie is included.
And included in the Moonbase plan, or included in like included in like this overall plan?
Moonbase for now.
Okay. Apparently we're inviting Debbie along to the Moonbase now.
If you're okay with that.
I guess. Sure.
Alright, so we have a plan.
Oh, yeah, one
Oh,
more thing.
Yeah, we don't have a plan. Darren. Move on for now, because there's some other stuff I need to address before I talk to Debbie. I have a way for us to get to the Moonbase. There's a shuttle leaving tomorrow night that Eric has arranged for us to not exactly stow away on, but be on to get to the Moonbase. I can't portal us there. I don't know the area well enough.
And they'll be okay with a bear and a mushroom alien?
He seems to think so. However, I'm exploring all options. Do you have any access to a spacecraft in order for a different option to get us there?
The only spacecraft I've encountered recently crashed. By the way, I should talk to you about that in a second, Darren. But I don't want to derail the conversation.
You're a very considerate conversation partner, Jackie.
You're welcome.
Okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but when I first came to Earth, I did not land with a lot of grace or poise, but my ship that I came in on did arrive intact. I was only recently notified not too long ago that my ship was salvaged. I'm not confident in the condition it was in, but I know that when I left my ship, it still had life support systems intact. I think it might still be capable of flight.
That would leave us with a more reasonable means of escape. Because if we have to rely on a transport that we don't control, who knows if we can get back off.
I'm fairly certain I can portal us out. It's getting us there that's the issue.
My planet has been doing interplanetary travel for centuries before your planet was capable of going to the nearest pebble.
Okay, that's one way of putting it. Okay, continue.
We were able to do this because we have developed and grown on our native planet a moss that, when ingested or absorbed through the skin, allows you to use alternative forces of oxygen. I don't know how it would react with your bodies, but it's an option to look into that would help us survive the trip there.
That would be good for William. I'm fairly certain I can survive in space as is.
Yeah, I can't. Well, I might be able to for a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
But not for long.
I don't know how it would adapt well for your body, but it's an option.
Theoretically, another option, if we can have something, if we can get access to said moss, I could portal us up to literally anywhere in that crater, and it's a big crater, and we should be able to see a very long way, and I should just be able to slowly portal us closer and closer without having to use anything else. However, this base will be on very high alert, so
I think the transport is our better option, though, because it'll allow us to go in without having to break in, and I'm not confident in how it'll treat your body.
That's probably our best option.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've explored other options, but...
That would make sense.
Okay.
Do we have a consensus? We're just taking the shuttle up.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
Use the
and I need to contact Debbie, apparently.
Okay, and that's going to be easy enough. We don't need to play through that. We can just get to seeing this scene of the four of you now, since Debbie is coming along, entering the shuttle. And I want to intercut that with a couple of scenes to explain how you weird people are getting on this shuttle.
Okay.
I'm also curious.
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. You have access to a very high-tech, multinational corporation. They've got holographic tech. So you basically have, disguises.
Ooh.
How do you disguise
Me.
something that is 3 times larger than a human?
You're not the only big person on this transport,
I see.
as it turns out. Because remember, you've seen some pretty big people. You've seen Bulletproof.
Yes, that's true.
Larange is huge. You've seen some big people. So you're big, but you're impressively, normal, super big.
Okay.
Here's the downside. These things have a very limited battery life.
I see.
You'll get, at most, 12 hours out of this. And
How long does it take to get to the moon?
your trip to the moon is actually going to be pretty quick. It's only going to take about an hour and a half. Yeah!
Nice.
I like this future.
So, can I just go as myself,
future of
since no
2020.
one knows this persona yet?
And you already have a criminal history.
That's true, I do, but we're going up there as guards, right?
Not criminals.
You are, but keep in mind this is not run by Kopi, this is run by the US military.
Okay.
So this is kind of a disguise as a registered member of the military.
Okay, so I'm disguised as a particular person.
Yes.
Okay, engage acting units. So what do I know about this person I'm impersonating?
I'm actually going to leave this up to you. I'm going to let you name your own pretend military people.
Oh, jeez. So much power.
You don't have to do that right now.
Yes.
My persona is Beverly Hillbilly, after my favorite character show. It's made it to my planet. It's a true treasure.
That's good. Most of you look kind of vaguely like yourself, just,
Not pink.
Yeah, just not pink and more like
Sure.
human-ish, and you look like a big, person,
Yes.
but not like an actual physical bear.
Yeah, I'm a large, buff person with a big white beard.
And as this transport lifts off, we get a couple of scenes in transit. There's the four of you, and then there's 3 other guards that are coming along with you. None of whom are really making a whole lot of conversation, so that's fine.
Sure.
You do have a short in-flight video, though,
Yes.
Yes.
called Welcome to Candyland. And it goes over the following things. Candyland is located, as we said, in the South Pole Aitken crater. It gives you some very brief specifications on this crater. Candyland is home to some of the most dangerous and wily criminals that the Earth has ever seen.
Does he actually say wily?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this was done by Acme, wasn't it?
Are they
Yes.
superstitious, cowardly lot? Or
No, at least one of them to kind of... They show you some short videos of a couple of these prisoners.
okay.
And there is one in particular that you use to emphasize how dangerous these people are. This is it looks like a shark and a dragon had a baby. Think great white shark, big wings, claws, feet.
I don't feel like Nightshade is in the same league here.
And this is an alien that specifically came to Earth in the late 90s and went on an absolute rampage. Never gave an explanation for why they did this, never communicated with anyone, ate a few people, killed several people in the attempt to capture, and has said nothing since being imprisoned here.
Who took him down?
Axiom. Everything short of Axiom that they tried to throw at this thing, it just ripped through like butter. It is now housed in a building by itself. Employees are not allowed in this building. It is monitored by video, and they show you a short video of it with like heavy chains to the floor and 4 miniguns in each corner pointed at it. That's how serious we take these things.
Let's not go to that building.
What
Okay.
was its name?
It actually did identify itself.
Oh.
Because here's the thing, and here's the other thing to keep in mind. Not everyone up here is going to be what you think they are. After Axiom took them down, they identified themselves as Crushing Depths and requested to be imprisoned in this facility. They're here by request.
Okay, that's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also really the only secure enough facility that they could house this thing in.
Here's the real question. Would we already know about this? This seems like it'd be like a major event.
Yeah, this was in the late 90s.
But still.
This was before you were born.
Okay, but still.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, you've probably seen some news feeds, but this rampage didn't last very
I mean,
long.
in the
Okay.
big scheme of things, on,
Right.
on our
Yeah, it
Super
wasn't that
crime.
big of a...
Yeah, it really wasn't.
Okay.
Point is, there's a lot of very dangerous people up here, and we take that very, very seriously. There are safety
Okay.
protocols that are specific to every inmate.
Uh-huh.
If you are in those wings, you will learn them and you will follow them, or we will send you back to Earth. You will be court-martialed. And at that point, you land, and there is a big pink neon sign over the landing bay that says, "Welcome to Candyland." It's a big pink neon sign. It's not like it was part of the original construction.
Okay.
We found this on the moon.
Yeah, someone brought it up.
Okay, I'm gonna roll my ego move on that if I win.
All right, what are you rolling this on?
This super base, Candyland.
You know what? Okay, sure.
Just in general.
So roll your eagle move on Candyland.
Okay,
And it's been a while since we've seen this move, so what'd you get?
that's an 8.
Alright, now read us out that move. Tell us what it does.
Okay, when you first encounter an important superpowered phenomenon, mark Armiger and roll plus superior. On a hit, tell the team one important detail you've learned from your studies. The GM will tell you what, if anything, is different from what you remember. On a 10 plus, you can ask a follow-up question, but I got an 8.
Okay, so tell me one important detail you've learned in your studying of this in the last, day and a half.
Yeah, when I was Googling it, that Candyland sign was just found on the moon, and that is why it is called Candyland. No one knows where it came from, but that's why they're using it, and that's why it's weird.
Damn it.
You know
Thank
what?
you so much.
You know
Yes,
what? I'm gonna leave that as it stands.
this is
but-
canon.
Yes, I'm gonna leave that as it stands.
That filled my Armiger track, by the way.
Okay.
That was a good
That
use
was a
of
good
that.
use. That was a good use of that.
Yes.
Very helpful.
Yes,
Very
it
helpful.
was.
And as you enter Candyland, we close this issue of Apex City, and we will see you next time.
Masks: A New Generation is written for Magpie Games by Brendan Conway. It is made of molecular gastronomy, bizarre neon signs, and moonworms. Put it on your evil dad's credit card, he'll never find out. Crushing Depths appears courtesy of Landon Cornell. You can find him on Twitter at super_Landon1. He MCs at St. Fleurpod, the best Urban Shadows podcast in the Midwest. Jackie Bear is played by Christina. Piero is played by Lenny. You can find her on Twitter at 1-800-TOD. William and Furnace is played by Jordan. Darren is played by Nan. Find her on Instagram at Nanjitsu. Apex City is GM'd by Jeremy, who also writes the music and edits this podcast. Our album art was provided by Fitzsimmons. Find them on Instagram at Fitzonomy. Find us on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, or just tune in with your cybernetic Wi-Fi. Follow us on Twitter at Apex City Cast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next issue.